Alrighty guys, I am back here for another streaming video. This is going to be for Elite the Tour, round 6. It is against Graham Wright here. And let me just show you the way that I have my bag set up. Very similar to last time. And we should be just about ready to kick it off here. I believe he is online, changing his bag up as we speak. There it is. Let me just accept that. And here we are off. Sakura 7, eh? Nice little hole. I usually do a pretty good slice on. Nice little shot there. Like getting a little bit more aggressive with my line. Usually ends up biting me in the butt. Let's see what I can do this time. Usually use the center of the fairway as my target line. And then play my rings. About 3 bullseyes worth. It's just too much. I made it from here a couple times though. Not the most favorable of all winds, 5.0. I'm pretty sure that's as high as a wind as we could have got here. And of course, I think the unanimous approach for this one is just go for the dunk no matter what. For the most part you miss, and it's still within an easy putt. So that's kind of the reason that you're going to see this. Let's see if he can get his to fall, and then I'll see if I can follow up here. Perfect ball, right at the hole, and he got it. So I gotta follow up. Of course, when I have to follow up that, I don't even worry about my backspin. So you're not gonna see me put that on here. I just try to get kind of a sized up distance as to how far I am from the hole. Now note when you're doing these that this plays uphill. So you usually have to add on to your correction. And I'm going to see if I can get something kind of going towards the hole here. Give it about a ring and a half, see if that's decent. Yep, great ball. Moot point. So just a little bit being in the rough there cost me the opportunity to get that one with the heavy wind there. A little bit too much for me. I was just like a yard or two long. See if I can't come back with this one. Nice little headwind again. Usually when I get the wind like this, I'm just laying up down the right side of this fairway for my second shot. On the occasion that I do get the wind on this one, I'll usually try to hit it over to the other fairway on the left there. Come in from a different angle. I'm going to stick to my hook shot here. I'm going to start a little bit more left than usual because of that wind. Start it more in this range. And you can skip it over from that fairway and just skip it over that bunker. Not worth it in my opinion. You can still go at this pretty easily from the right fairway over here. There's a couple ways. It depending on the wind. I play it differently. So it's kind of like a little rough shot right in front, where there's always a backspin shot that you can get, and it usually just depends on the wind for me how I want to play it. I like just getting it to the top of that hill right there that you just saw me on. With the backbone, you don't need to be any farther than this. Some guys might use Saturn, you got a little bit less distance, so it starts bringing in a couple other things. With as much wind as this wind is, this shot right here gets a little bit more challenging, but it is a nice angle that no matter what, when he plays this wind, it's going to keep it in the rough. So it takes a lot of the risk out of the shot. There's no real fairway risk here or bunker risk. So it's a pretty nice direction wind. It's just so strong. I don't know if I'll go for it or not. We'll just see how he does it. So let's see here. I made this way last round, so why not just go for it again. A little bit different approach. Just coming in and gonna cut. Needed just a little bit more correction there. So let's see what we can get this time around. Sakura 2. Not sure which one that one is. Ah, okay. This one I usually take off a little bit on my drive. You head it down there full, you end up in kind of a weird distance, sometimes in between clubs, so I like avoiding that altogether here. So this one plays severely uphill. Let's see if I got it down towards max club, kind of somewhere in the middle here. So it's important to remember not to correct as much because it's so uphill, and this is a lot uphill. So I try to almost half my correction, just a little bit over half of what I would do. Great ball. It's going to be left. So there you see it. Not quite getting anything here to go the way that I was hoping. Let's see if he does probably a similar approach here. It's probably the best chance to make it. You can swing it in left to right, and I have got that, but it's very challenging. This is kind of very straightforward here. Sometimes you'll miss that fringe hop and it'll shoot down towards the back of the green, but no real trouble back there. It's an easy putt, just kind of downhill towards the hole. So no real big problem with this shot. There's very little risk involved with it, other than it being so uphill that an overcorrection. I've seen guys hit the bunker and miss the fairway. And there you're kind of seeing the long shot, no real difficulty there. It comes back. Even if it doesn't, it's still just straight downhill. Should be in. Jeez, that's the slowest I've seen. Even if you had to putt from back there, it would only be like a half distance putt, like half of what it looks, because it's so downhill you don't have to hit it very hard, so it's not like you'd be going into max power back there or anything. It'd be pretty easy. Straight in the wind. So this is one of the biggest reasons that I like to have backbone here. Those couple extra yards can be a real game changer here. It makes you have to go into less power here, which makes you able to be a little bit more accurate with the way that you go about doing this. And that is well done. Just cuts inside that. So one of the things that I could mention about that hole is making sure you use a lot of that slope, that natural slope. You see, I use a decent amount of the curl too, but you want to make sure that those hops are more shooting off the closer to the fringe there, so that way you can get the that proper bounce that you want. To get it to feed down to the hole, because if you are too low on that slope, it doesn't quite cut down and get that close. I usually get a little bit more aggressive to the right here. It's kind of my typical way to play this. I really don't like it this much downwind because it makes me start to actually think about a shot that I shouldn't do, which is thread this here. It starts making me think about doing it, and I shouldn't. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm just going to play it a little bit short. I'll do it with a hook instead. Just to get a little bit extra. What this does is it just creates a little bit more velocity on the ball. So when you actually pull it off, you're usually longer off the tee. And I like to even doing it more full power because I can get it even a little bit farther than that. Of course, we're not getting the easiest wind to go for this. Of course not. Why would we? So we should be a little bit more towards, so that's one of the nice things about getting to where I did, is I can go for the dunk or I can go short, and it's with the claw as opposed to with backbone. So I like the little bit of just being a little bit closer. It makes the shot just a little bit easier. And I don't really have a set method. Like, I don't feel obligated to go for the dunk here. It's just kind of what I feel given the situation. So I usually try to size it up relatively quickly so I can make a judgment call on what I want to do here based on the distance. A little bit towards min club here. Just got it to roll in. Just barely. It's one of the reasons that I bring it in kind of slow there, so at least soften that edge a little bit. So you see me kind of using as much backspin as you possibly can without hitting a stop shot, which is kind of right around 3 bars, just a shade under, but I don't want to leave it right on the lip, so see, I usually take off just a tad there. Again, I like to hook this one as well. Should be able to get the second hop towards the fairway and give yourself a good, nice little shot with a hook here. Not necessarily worried about hitting that rough on that bounce. There's a chance that you can get down there too far and put yourself in between clubs, which I've done. And once last round I got to the backbone. That was my first time doing that with this bag. I mean, of course you can do it if you put on like Titans and stuff, but on this setup it's a little bit harder to get at the backbone distance. We had to get, I think, you know, between 4 and 5 miles per hour wind to get it down that far. Let's see what kind of, ooh, that was a really bad bounce when you just missed that other one. When you just miss that fairway, it kind of screws you a little bit, because his third bounce would have been in the fairway. So again, I like to size this up first real quick, and aside from that, kind of set my backspin here right around 3 or so, and make sure to always think about how you are uphill here. So instead of going the full 3, I might just cheat it inside 3 if I can. As opposed to the full adjustment. And of course I great ball it anyway. It's going to be way left. Well, maybe not. Oh my god, what a turd shot. Jesus. Can't believe I just shanked that in. So bad. That was not intentional. I'll be the first to admit that. And I don't usually shank stuff in because my aim is usually very precise. There you're not seeing that. So got a little lucky. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, I guess. Maybe he'll have some similar magic here. Left ball shank into the cup. No, not quite. That's one of the reasons I don't like using that back slope, and I just try to roll it in on the initial. It's because when you shank it, it really goes way too high up there and then doesn't want to come down on that groove. Sakura 9. One thing I'm wondering is if they took the cliff holes off of here, because I was playing them in the earlier rounds and haven't been playing them recently for whatever reason. Not sure why that's happening. Again, I like to go at this with a hook, just for you know, accuracy purposes. Now it's not flawless because you still got to be, you know, good with your timing to shank it on that perfect right. But I just like eliminating that factor of trying to have to hit perfect ball there. Or you don't have to hit perfect with a quarterback, but you got to get semi-close and worry about the trees. And I can just kind of gracefully bring it in around the trees. So if you watch my setup here, I'll start to play the rings. And it usually just softly goes around the trees here. And again, so I'm going to use like a counter curl method, but I'm going to come in ever so slightly. And what this does is it keeps it countering more. Basically over counters. So it just kind of shoots up through here, as opposed to bringing it into the rough or anything like that. Just kind of finds its own little groove through there. And you're seeing I got a little bit more wind than he did in terms of in my drive. I think I got, you know, 0.8, 0.9 higher. Makes it that much harder to get it out there full, but he did hit perfect ball too, so that really helps you maximize your distance when you do that. So let's take a look at this shot. This is kind of my preferred method to do it. I'm not going to go at it with this method, unfortunately, because I didn't quite get the length. But I really like it. It gives you a nice chance to kind of softly curl it around there and still make the alba, as you see his ball coming in there close. I find any other method a little bit harder. But still doable. Not quite enough. Need a little bit more backspin too, so it bites a little harder. I haven't played that shot in a while, so you're seeing I'm a little rusty on it. Another shootout. Only our second shootout, I believe. Or, yeah, I think we've only had two. This will be the second. So let's see what we can get here for the shootout hole. Hopefully it's the other hole. Make it a little bit more exciting. There we go. Get a little bit different perspective here. Of course, he gets the honors on both these. Looks pretty darn good. Oh, wow. I'm going to try to, use some of that slope. Get this to go towards the hole here. As you can see, I'm kind of up against it. It's hard to beat that shot. And there it is. I just caught the edge. Good enough for the hole-in-one. And there you have it. That is a 4-2 victory there. Kind of up against it a little bit there. At the beginning, he put a lot of pressure on me to execute, and just got a little lucky there coming in on the finish. All well done shots. Very, very tough match. Fortunate to come out on the winning side of that one, and but I'm sure I'll see Graham out there again, and we'll have quite a few more battles in our future. Tour 11 stuff. It's always fun playing that guy, so I just want to give that guy a little huge shout out here. If you ever see him, one of the better guys to play. So, highly encourage you guys watching this video, checking out some of the content, learning from Graham, because I'm not sure that he has a YouTube channel out there, but he can put up a really good game and make you work, make you earn it all the time. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and if you guys haven't played your Tour 6 rounds yet, good luck to the rest of you out there, and I'll see you guys in the next round.